There is a damage inside you that no one can see. No scars, no blood, no collapse loud enough for the world to notice, but you feel it every time you hesitate, every time you second-guess yourself, every time your chest tightens before a simple decision. That damage is not failure. It is something worse. It is the slow weakening of your spirit from breaking your own promises. Every time you say, "I'll do it tomorrow," and don't, something inside you bends. Not dramatically, quietly, like metal fatigued from being bent too many times. You don't feel it immediately, but over time, your presence weakens. Your voice softens. Your conviction thins. This is how spirit decay begins. A man's spirit is built on trust, not trust from others, but trust in himself. When your word no longer carries weight, your mind stops standing behind you. Your body stops following you. Your actions lose urgency. You begin moving like a man who expects himself to quit. This is why broken promises don't just affect discipline. They affect posture, breath, energy, the way you enter a room, the way you hold silence. You may still function, you may still serve, but you stop radiating strength, and the world feels it before you understand it. Spirit is not emotion. Spirit is internal alignment. It is the force that pushes you forward when comfort pulls you back. Every broken promise creates friction between who you are and who you claim to be. That friction drains you, slowly, relentlessly, until you feel tired even when you've done nothing. You think you're exhausted because life is hard, but many men are tired because they are divided inside. Half of you wants to rise. Half of you expects to fail, and every broken promise feeds the weaker half. This is why your motivation comes and goes, why your confidence spikes then disappears, why your discipline feels unstable. Your spirit is bleeding from 1,000 small cuts you never took seriously. In Chapter 2, you will confront what actually happens inside a man when his spirit weakens, how broken promises turn into hesitation, hesitation into fear, and fear into a life that never fully begins. Spirit doesn't collapse all at once. It fractures. Small breaks, invisible splits that widen over time. And every broken promise is a strike against the same place until the structure gives way. At first, the damage looks harmless. You skip once. You delay once. You quit early once. Nothing seems lost. But inside, something changes. Your mind notes the pattern. Your body learns hesitation. Your spirit loses tension. A strong spirit holds pressure. A weakened spirit leaks it. You start feeling it when simple tasks feel heavy, when decisions feel exhausting, when starting feels harder than the work itself. This is not laziness. This is internal fracture. When your spirit weakens, your instincts change. You begin choosing safety over challenge, comfort over growth, silence over truth. Your nervous system adapts to avoidance, and avoidance becomes your default. Broken promises train your spirit to expect retreat. So when life demands advance, you stall, you overthink, you hesitate, not because you are incapable, but because your spirit has been conditioned to pull back. This fracture spreads quietly. It affects how you stand, how you breathe, how you speak. Your presence loses weight. Your words lose force. Your eyes lose fire. And you start mistaking this drained state for your personality. The most dangerous part is normalization. You get used to it. You call it maturity. You call it realism. You call it being calm. But what you are actually doing is living below your capacity because your spirit has adapted to retreat. A weakened spirit creates fear where none existed. Fear of commitment, fear of intensity, fear of responsibility. Because fear thrives where trust has collapsed, and trust collapses when your own word cannot be relied on. This is why pressure feels unbearable to a weakened spirit, not because pressure increased, but because your internal structure can no longer carry it. You feel overwhelmed by demands you once handled easily. The load stayed the same. You changed, and slowly you begin living in a state of permanent defense, always conserving energy, always choosing the path with the least resistance, always avoiding the fight before it begins. This is not peace. This is erosion. But here is the truth that changes everything. Spirit can be rebuilt the same way it was weakened, not with grand gestures, but with small, repeated acts that restore internal tension. The spirit responds to proof, not intention. Every promise kept tightens the structure. Every follow-through adds resistance. Every completed commitment restores pressure tolerance. This is how spirit hardens again. In Chapter 3, you will confront the root cause, why breaking promises attacks the spirit so deeply, and how self-betrayal disconnects you from your core. This is where understanding turns into leverage. Broken promises don't weaken your spirit because of failure. They weaken it because of betrayal. Not betrayal by others, betrayal by yourself. And the spirit responds to betrayal by withdrawing its power. Your spirit exists to move you forward, to push you into discomfort, to hold pressure without collapsing. But it only does this when it trusts the man leading it. When your word collapses, that trust breaks, and the spirit pulls back to protect itself. This is why broken promises hurt more than external losses. You can lose money and still feel strong. You can lose status and still feel grounded. But when you lose faith in your own word, the damage cuts deeper, because it severs the bond between will and action. Every time you promise and do not follow through, your spirit learns a rule: do not commit fully. So it stops releasing its full force. It holds back energy. It limits drive. It reduces intensity. Because intensity without trust leads to collapse. This is why you feel like something inside you is always restrained. Like you're operating at half capacity. Your spirit is rationing itself because you have proven you won't support it when things get hard. Broken promises teach your spirit that effort is dangerous, that commitment leads to disappointment, that pushing forward ends in retreat. So it adapts. It keeps you cautious, reserved, contained. Not to punish you, but to keep you alive inside inconsistency. The most destructive effect is disconnection. Your thoughts move forward, but your spirit stays behind. You imagine a stronger life, but your body does not follow. You feel ambition, but lack propulsion. This is not confusion. It is misalignment between intention and trust. Here is the truth most men never hear. Your spirit does not respond to motivation. It responds to reliability. It gives power to the man who proves he will stand behind his decisions. Without proof, the spirit remains guarded. This is why big promises fail. They demand full commitment before trust is restored. Micro-promises work because they rebuild trust first, slowly, consistently, without triggering collapse. Each kept promise tells your spirit, you can release a little more. Each follow-through loosens the restraint. Each completed commitment reconnects will and action. This is how power returns, not explosively, but steadily. And once trust is restored, your spirit changes behavior. It begins pushing you forward again. It holds pressure longer. It tolerates discomfort. It accepts responsibility. It stops pulling you back at the first sign of resistance. This is why rebuilding spirit starts with the smallest acts. You don't need to prove strength. You need to prove reliability. Once your spirit trusts you again, strength returns on its own. Power follows trust. Always. In Chapter 4, you will learn the structure, the exact framework that transforms reliability into resilience, and resilience into strength. This is where rebuilding becomes deliberate. If broken promises weaken the spirit, then kept promises must restore it. Not emotionally, structurally. A weakened spirit needs a framework, something solid enough to carry pressure again. There are 3 principles that restore spirit without relying on motivation. They are not inspiring. They are not comfortable. But they work, every time, for every man willing to obey them. The first principle: restore tension through small wins. Spirit weakens when tension disappears. Not stress, tension. The internal resistance that tells your body, stay present, hold, don't retreat. Small, repeatable commitments reintroduce this tension safely. A daily act that asks something of you. Not too much, but not nothing. This is how the spirit remembers how to brace itself again. Do not chase intensity. Chase resistance. A spirit that can hold a small resistance daily will eventually hold far greater weight. This is why micro-promises are the correct weapon. The second principle: remove negotiation. A spirit fractures when decisions become debates. Every time you negotiate with your weakness, you tell your spirit that retreat is an option. When retreat exists, full engagement cannot. Your spirit holds back because it expects escape. Remove the debate. Decide once. Execute daily. No discussion. This restores decisiveness, the backbone of spirit. When your actions are automatic, your spirit releases power. It stops guarding energy. It stops rationing effort, because it knows you will not abandon it mid-struggle. The third principle: prove reliability before seeking strength. Most men want to feel powerful before acting. This is backwards. Your spirit will not empower a man it cannot trust. Reliability comes first. Strength follows. Keep your word when it's inconvenient. Keep it when it's boring. Keep it when no one sees. This is the proof your spirit requires to unlock its full capacity. As reliability stacks, your spirit thickens. It becomes harder to shake. It tolerates pressure longer. It stops collapsing under discomfort. This is resilience, not toughness, but durability. These three principles work together. Small resistance builds tension. Non-negotiation restores decisiveness. Reliability unlocks power. Miss one and the structure weakens. Obey all three and your spirit hardens whether you believe it will or not. This framework is not philosophy. It is mechanics. It does not ask how you feel. It demands what you do. And over time, your spirit stops leaking. It stops fracturing. It starts holding pressure again. You will feel it in moments of resistance. You no longer retreat. You hold. You stay. You push through. This is not aggression. This is stability returning. A stable spirit is dangerous. Not loud, not reckless. Dangerous because it cannot be pushed backward easily. And once your spirit stabilizes, you are ready for something deeper. Application in real life, where pressure is constant and excuses are tempting. In Chapter 5, you will see how this framework plays out in reality. Work, training, conflict, and moments where your spirit is tested without warning. When spirit begins to return, it doesn't arrive as confidence. It arrives as stability. You notice it in moments that used to break you, but now only test you. Pressure doesn't disappear. Your capacity to hold it increases. This is the first real sign that your spirit is rebuilding. Not excitement, but endurance. Let's make this real. Picture a man who always avoided confrontation. Every difficult conversation drained him before it began. His spirit collapsed under anticipation alone. Now that same man keeps one promise daily, something small, unavoidable, non-negotiable. When conflict appears, his spirit no longer withdraws immediately. He stays present. He listens. He speaks without shaking. Not because he trained conversation, but because he trained reliability. Here is another example. A man who collapses under workload. Deadlines suffocate him. Responsibility feels crushing. His spirit leaks the moment pressure appears. He doesn't need motivation. He needs proof. He commits to a single daily action that restores tension. A fixed training session, a fixed work block, a fixed standard he does not violate. Over time, his spirit stops panicking. It expects pressure. It holds it. Work becomes weight, not chaos. This is why men confuse strength with aggression. Aggression burns fast. Spirit endures. A man with a restored spirit does not rush. He does not explode. He advances. He feels fear, but fear no longer dictates his movement. He feels resistance, but resistance no longer stops him. This is internal control. Look at the men you consider unshakable. They are not loud. They are not frantic. They are stable. Their spirit has weight. Their presence has gravity. They move through chaos without losing center. This is what broken promises steal. Center. And this is what kept promises restore. Now look at failure. When spirit is weak, failure feels personal. Like proof of inadequacy, it collapses you. When spirit is restored, failure becomes feedback, information, something to adjust, not something to fear. This shift changes everything. This is why a man with spirit learns faster. He adapts quicker. He recovers stronger. Because he does not break under correction. Correction sharpens him. This also changes how you handle pain. Pain stops being a threat. It becomes pressure. Pressure becomes training. You don't seek suffering. You tolerate it without losing direction. That is spirit maturity. And the more pressure your spirit holds, the more your identity solidifies. You stop asking, "Can I handle this?" You start asking, "How do I move through this?" This is the mindset shift that separates men who survive from men who advance. Every kept promise adds another layer, another reinforcement, another proof point. Spirit is not rebuilt in isolation. It is rebuilt through repeated engagement with resistance. This is why doing the work matters more than understanding the theory, and this is why your past does not disqualify you. A weak spirit is not permanent damage. It is reversible. Reliability restores tension. Tension restores spirit. Spirit restores direction. In Chapter 6, you will learn exactly how to apply this under real-world pressure. When life hits hard, when discipline is tested, and when excuses feel convincing. Strengthening spirit does not happen in theory. It happens in moments where pressure demands action and excuses offer retreat. This is where everything you've learned either holds or collapses. The first application is simple, but unforgiving. You must train your spirit to remain engaged when discomfort appears, not to rush forward, not to escape, to stay. Presence under pressure is the muscle you are rebuilding. Begin with controlled resistance. Choose environments that demand focus, training sessions, difficult conversations, tasks you usually avoid. When your instinct is to pull back, hold your ground, even if your hands shake, even if your breath tightens. Staying engaged is already a victory. Next, remove emotional timing. Do not act when you feel ready. Act when the moment arrives. Your spirit regains strength when it learns that action is inevitable. Readiness is optional. This applies directly to physical training. Train when tired. Train when bored. Train when motivation is absent. Not recklessly, but consistently. The goal is not exhaustion. The goal is presence under load. Now apply this to mental pressure. When conflict appears, do not rehearse escape. Do not minimize yourself. Do not soften your truth. Speak calmly. Stand your ground. Let discomfort exist without controlling you. This is how spirit learns that pressure is survivable. The third application is commitment through friction. Choose actions that carry resistance every single day. Cold exposure, heavy lifts, difficult tasks, honest conversations. Not because they are extreme, but because resistance keeps the spirit engaged. A spirit that never meets friction atrophies. You must also eliminate retreat rituals, the habits you use to escape discomfort. Scrolling, numbing, overthinking, delay. These behaviors teach your spirit to disengage. Replace them with grounding actions that keep you present inside resistance. Another critical step is finishing what you start, even when the result is imperfect. An unfinished action teaches retreat. A finished action, even a flawed one, teaches completion. Completion restores authority. As you apply these steps, you will notice a change. Not excitement, not confidence. Wait. A seriousness in your movement, a steadiness in your decisions, a calm resistance to being pushed backward. This is your spirit regaining mass. You will stop reacting to pressure emotionally. You will stop catastrophizing discomfort. You will stop seeking escape. Instead, you will engage. Slowly, deliberately, fully. This is functional strength. Eventually, your spirit stops asking if it can handle pressure. It assumes it can. That assumption changes your entire life. And when your spirit no longer fears engagement, nothing external can destabilize you easily. In Chapter 7, you will experience the final silence, the calm that settles once spirit, action, and identity move as one. This is where rebuilding becomes irreversible. There is a moment when you realize the bleeding has stopped. Not because the world became softer, but because your spirit no longer leaks under pressure. You feel it in the way you stand, in the way you breathe, in the way silence no longer feels heavy. This silence is different. It is not emptiness, it is weight, the kind of weight that comes from alignment, when your actions finally support your intent, and your spirit is no longer torn between advance and retreat. You notice it when difficulty appears, and you don't tense immediately. You don't rush. You don't freeze. You stay. That ability, to remain present without collapsing, is the sign your spirit has stabilized. A stabilized spirit does not seek validation. It does not perform strength. It does not announce intention. It simply holds. And because it holds, it cannot be pushed easily. This is why your life begins to feel quieter, not because there is less noise, but because less of it enters you. You stop absorbing chaos. You stop reacting emotionally. You stop leaking energy to situations that once drained you completely. You will also notice how others respond. Not with applause, but with space. People feel the difference when a man's spirit is no longer desperate. They sense when pressure no longer bends you. This is presence, earned, not claimed. You are not calmer because you suppress emotion. You are calmer because your internal structure can now carry it. This is emotional containment, the mark of a mature spirit. And once your spirit is contained, your identity locks in. You no longer wonder who you are becoming. You know, because your daily actions confirm it. Identity stops being a question and becomes a fact. This is where fear loses leverage. Fear thrives on instability. It feeds on internal division. But a unified spirit gives fear nowhere to attach. Fear may appear, but it cannot steer you. You will still face resistance. You will still face pain. You will still face uncertainty. But now those forces meet something solid. A spirit that does not leak, does not flinch, does not retreat automatically. This is what broken promises took from you. And this is what kept promises gave back. Not motivation, not excitement, but integrity that holds under fire. Stand here for a moment, in this silence. Feel the weight, feel the alignment. This is not an ending. It is a foundation. From here on, every promise you keep adds mass to your spirit. Every action sharpens your identity. You were never weak. You were leaking. Now you are sealed. And this is how a man becomes unbreakable. Quietly, consistently, without witnesses.